Greetings and welcome to the Dakota County Star Podcast, the weekly podcast of the Dakota County Star newspaper published in South Sioux City, Nebraska. I'm Mike Carnes, publisher of the Dakota County Star and your host for our weekly podcast where we talk about what's going on in South Sioux City and the rest of Dakota County, highlight what is in this week's edition of the Dakota County Star, and discuss whatever other issues happen to be bouncing around inside that space between my ears. The Dakota County Star Podcast is sponsored by Maricela Morales, your Aflac Bilingual Benefits Advisor, located in Dakota Dunes, South Dakota. Give her a call at 712-259-6580. And now, time to launch the rockets and blast off with another edition of the Dakota County Star Podcast.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And welcome to another edition of the Dakota County Star Podcast here on DakcoStar.com. I'm your host, Mike Carnes, and we're here to talk about all that is going on here in Dakota County. And one of the big things going on this week, of course, we had Veterans Day going on earlier this week. And with us on the program this week from Siouxland Freedom Park is the Marketing and Outreach Director, Emily Vondrak, who joins us this week. Emily, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, the past couple of days have been very busy for you. I know Veterans Day is always a big thing across the country, and Siouxland Freedom Park is always something important there with Veterans Day and kind of a lot of activities going on there.
Absolutely. Veterans Day is super important to us at Siouxland Freedom Park. Obviously, it's part of our mission to be honoring veterans, and so it was really incredible to see the turnout that we had this week, both for our ribbon cutting and for our Veterans Day ceremony that we hosted.
Now, the Veterans Day ceremony that went on Tuesday, there was something extra that was going on with the addition of a new recording studio. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. We are so excited about the opening of our A Place to Remember recording studio. It has really been part of the vision of Freedom Park since the beginning, was giving veterans an opportunity to come in and tell their stories, because we know that if we don't record these and make them part of history, they'll be lost. And so it was really inspired by high school kids from South Sioux City had done it as a history project to interview veterans. And so when you walk around the interpretive center, you'll see the TVs and you can watch some of those videos. And we just kind of wanted to take it another step further and set up a professional grade recording studio where veterans can come in, and it's all self-serve. So they don't have someone interviewing them. They see the questions on the screen, and then they can record their answers themselves. So it also gives them that aspect of privacy. Obviously, when you're talking about stories of serving our country, sometimes there can be topics that might be sensitive or might bring up different emotions. So I think giving them that private space to do that is really beneficial as well.
And I really love the idea of it, because I growing up, I've in my adult years, I keep hearing the phrase that every time somebody dies, a library closes, because that person usually has some kind of information about something that's, whether it's just their personal stuff or if they've been a part of something. They had that unique information that once they die, that information is gone. It's lost.
Yeah, absolutely.
So and especially with a veteran, the veteran people who have served in our military, they all have very unique stories and all have experiences that they may or may not want to share. There's something to be said about being involved in combat, and it's something that not very many people have done, and not many people are willing to talk about it once they've gone through it. It's because it's like being having something traumatic happen in your life, whether if you've been assaulted or raped or something like that. A lot of people don't want to talk about that, and kind of the same goes for veterans that some of the experiences they had serving overseas is something they don't want to have to relive.
Yeah, to have to bring that all up again, like I said, can be really emotional, can be difficult, and I think too some veterans don't necessarily think of themselves as heroes or don't want to be seen as like bragging or boasting about it, but the reality is that when you think about people that have served our country, I think Mike Newhouse mentioned it at our Veterans Day ceremony, it's less than 1% of the American population, and every single serviceman and woman has made a difference in the history of this country, whether they served in active combat, whether they were on missions here in the United States, and they all, like you said, have kind of their own unique perspective, whether they were involved in different missions or just what part of history they contributed to. Each and every one of them has made an impact. And so just giving people the opportunity to come and tell that story, we kind of joke, like, not everybody is Colonel Bud Day, but everybody has an important story and everybody has made an impact in history. Whether you have books about you or you have all these medals, you've still served, you've still made that sacrifice, and you still have a story to tell.
Definitely. And then, like you said, not everybody is a Bud Day who has the resume that he had, but the fact that you served in the military and that you were involved in combat, that's a story in and of itself.
Yes, and a worthy one, and one that, like you said, it's part of history and it should be preserved.
Yeah. Now, there's been a lot of stuff that's gone on here at Siouxland Freedom Park, a lot of additions to the facility, and I know the indoor thing with the Bud Day indoor wall. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really just incredible to see all the momentum I think the park has right now. When you look at things that have been added over the years, you look at just our different events and, kind of getting to higher attendance. I really think there's a lot of incredible things going on, and I'm so proud of our board too. They work just so incredibly hard to make all of these things happen and just donate and volunteer their time. So it's really incredible to see. And like you said, our next indoor exhibit will be the wall for Brigadier General Bud Day, and so that's kind of been in the works. We've partnered with some great people in the community who have kind of helped us get different artifacts, different information, photos, things like that. Gotten some things from his family to really showcase and kind of tell that story in a very prominent way within the Interpretive Center.
There's already a number of items that are there at the Interpretive Center that really talk a little bit about some of the different periods of war in our history. It's really a very educational and informative visit to go through there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's really one of the things that makes it unique, is that it's not just a Vietnam museum or a World War II museum, but it's really focused on the veterans themselves. So whether they had enlisted or were drafted 50 years ago or they've served, in the past decade, it really tells stories kind of across those generational lines and looks at the experience of a service person and not just a specific conflict.
And there's different items at the park. The Vietnam Wall, of course, everybody knows about that. The replica of the Vietnam Wall. There's also the recent addition of the Korean War Memorial. There's a park bench out there that was dedicated by the Daughters of the American Revolution. A little park out there, a little park space, whatever. So there's something that, and I know that talking with Mike Newhouse, who is just stepped down as president. That there's other wars that are going to be featured out there as time goes on. I think Gulf Wars. I think there's one he said should be the one that go next. But there's different war memorials that are out there.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's been just so incredible to see how exactly the Vietnam replica war really kind of kickstarted this whole project, and it's been cool. I think Freedom Park a little bit was planned one way, and then you kind of continue to grow and you get different opportunities, like the A7 plane that sits outside. Obviously that was not anything we could have ever planned for, but what an incredible piece of history to get to be the home to. So our board has been working really strategically on kind of reconfiguring what, quote unquote, I would say the footprint of the park looks like, just because it's changed so much over the years. So getting to plan where those new exhibits will sit, and exactly to your point, how can we honor all of the different wars, all of the different conflicts, and making sure we're really offering something for all of the people who have served.
Yeah, it's really neat to see how that park has evolved just in the time that I've been here. I've been with the paper now for between writing and publishing about last 5-6 years, and when I first came here, that the Interpretive Center wasn't even there. Mm-hmm. And now you have that out there. You have the Korean Memorial, the Rock, the plane now, and so it's really neat to see how that park is evolving and continuing to evolve.
Absolutely.
Over time.
Yeah, dynamic would definitely be the word I would use. It's not like we just built a park and then, walked away and said this is what it is. It continues to grow and evolve and add new things. And so, people that maybe haven't been out for a few years, there's a lot more to see if you are visiting again.
Yeah, and part of the uniqueness about this is it is all funded through donations and through fundraising efforts, and there's been a lot of that in the community. I know when Mike talked about when it first started, it was kind of hard to it was kind of a struggle to get anything going, and there was kind of a wonder if it would even exist. And then it has picked up, and I know that a couple of the major fundraising things that go on here is the Freedom Ball that happens every fall, and of course the Sioux City Chamberettes or South Sioux City Chamberettes have been just phenomenal in their efforts to donate to the Freedom Park effort. They have their luncheon every year. They've been selling T-shirts and things like that for years. And I think I heard a number the other day. It was over $60,000 that they've
over
raised.
The lifetime of the park. The Chamberettes are just such an incredible testament of the community support for Siouxland Freedom Park. What an incredible group of ladies that come and work hard to fundraise for this cause. And, many of them have family members who have served. So it's just really great to kind of hear their stories. And I think they're such a reflection, like I said, of both community support and family support of veterans that makes such a big difference. And yeah, they presented us with a check for $10,000 on Veterans Day, which was just, incredible. And yeah, to your point, there's so many different ways that people can get involved, whether it's, making a donation, sponsoring a brick, coming to Freedom Ball. There's a ton of ways to support the park, which is great.
Yeah, the brick wall, the outside brick wall, that project is kind of ongoing right now. And
yes.
And it really, you don't even have to be a local veteran to or have a local tie.
Yeah,
tie
absolutely.
into this,
Anybody can.
Yeah, in fact, my mother's dad served in World War II.
Oh, wow.
He died when she was I think 9 or 10 years old. In a drowning accident, but he served in World War II, and then came back. He had what I guess would be called PTSD today, and then he actually drowned in a lake.
Oh, wow!
Accidentally, and but my mother has had that connection, and I thought it was important to honor that, and so I bought a brick for him.
That's awesome.
For that, and I don't know if it's been set up out there yet, but it's really neat that option's available too.
Most definitely, yeah. We've had people that travel from around the country and stop by the park and have looked at wanting to donate, or to your point, just have a way of honoring someone in their family that served. And we're really grateful. We have a couple of volunteers who are putting up the bricks and building those walls, and so we'll hope to see them kind of throughout the park as we just continue to go with brick orders and get them installed. So it's not a super hard timeline. Obviously, when you're grateful to volunteers, you don't always necessarily have things happening immediately, but we're grateful for the patience of the donors and for the volunteers who are willing to give of their time to work on that project.
We're talking with Emily Vondrak, the Marketing and Outreach Coordinator at Siouxland Freedom Park, here on the Dakota County Star Podcast. You get some events coming up and some projects that are coming up. Talk a little bit about what's going on with, in the future here.
Yeah, so the next event that we will have is in partnership with Great West Casualty Company. We'll be doing Wreaths Across America again this year with Memorial Cemetery here in town, which is just such a cool project and just really a beautiful kind of testimony around the holidays, and making sure to take the time to thank those people that have served with those wreaths. Just a really great way for people in the community to come out and volunteer too. You can volunteer to place wreaths and just be part of kind of the ceremony, and everything will be just a really cool thing to bring to here in South Sioux City again this year. And then kind of looking, like we said, for exhibits, the next indoor thing will be the completion of the Brigadier General Bud Day Wall. And then as far as outside, obviously our newest addition is the A7 plane, which we're nearing kind of completion on what that whole exhibit looks like, but you can go out and see the plane now. And then we raised funds at our Freedom Ball this fall in 2025 for a covering for the Freedom Rock. So just to kind of protect it a little bit from the elements, to provide some shade out there for when people are viewing the rock, and that will be installed in this coming year. So that's pretty exciting to see. Just the things continue. Like I said, it's really a dynamic park, and so having those new additions just continues to add something every time.
Yeah, the plane that's out there, that was really interesting to see that process, because it used to be out at old Martin Field out here on the west edge of town, and when that facility was sold, the plane had to go somewhere, and it was so wonderful to know that there was an interest in keeping the plane around here. They were able to take it over to the 185th and got it all gussied up and new coat of paint and got some stuff fixed on it, and then to see it brought back, which they did here about a month ago. That was really kind of fun to watch.
It was so incredible, and yeah, I think just everything that went behind making that project a reality is really kind of crazy to think about. The fact that that was, Martin's Airfield was closing, to have it coordinated to come to the park, which what a perfect home for that piece of history, and then working with both the Army and the Air Force to coordinate, the helicopter coming out and picking up the plane, bringing it to the 185th, their team that worked super hard to restore it, repaint it, to your point, make it look like it should, and then again the coordination to have the Army bring their helicopters back across the state of Iowa to haul it to Freedom Park, which, to your point, so incredible to see.
Yeah.
And then the team from the 185th, again, that worked to get it kind of set where it is in front of the building was just another aspect to the project, too. So what cool cooperation, and like I said, just the perfect place for that piece of history to be.
Yeah, the only disappointing thing about that was that I thought it'd be kind of cool to see it take off and land somehow, but that's kind of an old plane.
Yes, I think well beyond its retirement as far as actually flying.
Yeah,
but
does it have the guts of the engine in it?
Nope, it does not. I don't believe.
Okay, well then that wouldn't. It'd be kind of hard to get it up in the air anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it was I think first commissioned around Vietnam, and then flew lastly out of Sioux City in the 185th back when it was a fighter unit. I think about 20-ish years ago it was retired, so hasn't been flown for a long time, but just the fact that it was in good enough condition, like I said, for us to restore and have sitting out at the park was just really incredible.
Yeah. And again, the Siouxland Freedom Park is out. It's out on the north end of town, right there along the river. It's really kind of a neat view to go out to the park. You've got all the facilities out there. There's actually a kind of a picnic area and a playground on the very north edge there, right by the river. You also have the dog park on the south end, which I think people don't realize is actually a part of Freedom Park.
Yeah, absolutely. It's dedicated to John Duangara, who was a veteran from right here in South Sioux City. He and his dog Bart were both killed in action serving over in the Middle East, and so that was, I think, one of really the original things to the park was that dog park honoring him. And like I said, he had a canine dog with him, so hence why there's a dog park in his honor. Mm-hmm. And yeah, just a really incredible way, and I think it's a testament to the fact that, to your point, there's really something for everybody at the park. There's walking trails, there's a playground, there's picnic areas, there's the dog park, and so just a really great, beautiful space to come out, enjoy some time, and really reflect on the kind of the gratitude that we have for our veterans.
Yeah, and my dog Noodles loves it. All I have to do is say dog park, and we're off.
Yes, I love it.
She's ready to go, and she loves running around there and checking it out. It's really nice, just a nice park. It's a wonderful addition to the community, and really is not only a great addition for South Sioux City, but for the Siouxland region as well. It's a great place of interest for the area.
Absolutely, and I think that's something I would really stress to people is that we do have, obviously we're located in South Sioux City, but we have a lot of things from veterans from South Dakota and Iowa, and it is Siouxland Freedom Park, so it was designed to really be for the entire community, not just for people here in South Sioux City. And it is really a nice setting right along the Missouri River there, and you can kind of see the Floyd Monument when you're standing in the park. And something that I learned since working there is that the way the wall is oriented to the Floyd Monument is the same way that the Vietnam Wall is oriented to the Washington Memorial in D.C. And that, so just, incredible attention to detail there when they were building the exhibits in the park.
Yeah, it's really a neat facility out there, and if you haven't had a chance to check it out, go do so, because it's a wonderful facility. The easiest way to get to it, I guess, depending on which way you're coming, if you're coming in through town, is you get down to, I think it's 6th Street, I think.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, and then you turn right there at McDonald's, and you just follow the road. You'll go by the park, and then you'll go by the soccer complex, and then Siouxland Freedom Park there is on the west or the south side of the railroad tracks there that you drive under, and then of course if you're coming in from the west or from the south, just coming off of 129 there, get off at Dakota Avenue. Take Dakota Avenue to that first stoplight, and then just follow the follow the road there out to Siouxland Freedom Park. It's a great facility to check out. So, talking with Emily Vondrak, the marketing and outreach coordinator at Siouxland Freedom Park here on the Dakota County Star podcast. One other thing I did want to ask, Mike Newhouse has stepped down as president. Who's taking over for him?
Yeah, so we'll know after our next board meeting, but I will say we just have such an incredible team on our board. They all work so hard for the park, and they all dedicate their time. They're all volunteers. They all dedicate their time and their free time. Some of them still work. Some of them are retired. A lot of them are veterans. So that's been one of my favorite things about coming to work here is just they're so dedicated and they're so passionate. And those are my favorite type of people to work with. I just really love what they do. So, I think Mike has done just such a good job of instilling knowledge and creating that culture of people who are, like I said, really passionate, and they call themselves a working board. They really, really are. So I can't speak to for sure who's going to be taking over as next president, but we'll know more after our next board meeting.
All right. When will that be?
Monday.
It's Monday. Okay.
Yep.
So hopefully before Thanksgiving.
Yes. Yep. Have
Okay.
a little more info on that.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. Mike Newhouse has been a absolute joy to have had the opportunity to work with in our promotion of Freedom Park. He's a really an interesting human being, and it was a lot of fun working with him and talking with him. I got to know him because he's also a wrestler. He used to be a wrestler when he was younger, and I have a passion for the sport of wrestling. Not necessarily a wrestler myself, but got into the sport of wrestling. So we've had a lot of conversations about that over the years as well. Just a lot of fun. So and then of course you are a recent mother too.
I am, yeah. So I joined the team here at Freedom Park. So I work with the city of South Sioux City. So they are just an incredible, obviously, partner to the Freedom Park. So I am the first quote-unquote employee, which has been super fun. I joined the team back at the end of summer. And so I also, I'm a mom. So my husband also works here in South Sioux City. He works at Great West Casualty. And then we have a 6-month-old daughter named Penelope.
Yeah, and those are... babies are wonderful.
Yes, it's been such an incredible fit. And my husband is an Army veteran, and all 3 of my siblings are in the 185th. So obviously veterans and helping to promote the people that serve our country is something that's a passion of mine, and getting to work part-time and then still get to spend time with baby girl has been just such a great fit. I'm so grateful for this opportunity.
Yeah, just my one word of warning though, babies turn into teenagers. and it'll be about that point where you start to question.
Right. Well, and I think I set myself up for success because I coach high school cheerleading, so I definitely have a lot of experience with high school girls. So
if you worked with a bunch of high school girls, you're a step ahead.
Yes.
All right. Anyway, well, thanks a lot for stopping in and talking with us on the podcast this week. And
thanks so much for having me.
We'll try to have you on again as more stuff's going on at the park there, and the Star wants to promote Siouxland Freedom Park as much as we can. So.
Well, we so appreciate that. Helping us get the word out and just encouraging people to attend is so helpful. So thank you guys for all you do.
All right, we're gonna take a time out. When we come back, we'll tell you what's in this week's Dakota County Star right after this time out. Back to the podcast in just a moment, but first I want to tell you about Maricela Morales. She's your local Aflac bilingual benefits advisor, and she can help your small business provide benefits to your employees at no cost to your business. If you want more information, give her a call at 712-259-6580, and she can get you all the details. There's no obligation, and she can answer all your questions. So give Maricela Morales a call at 712-259-6580, your Aflac bilingual benefits advisor in Dakota Dunes, South Dakota. Got photos? Need photos? Whether you need to transfer old photos or would like a copy of a photo you've seen in our paper, contact the Dakota County Star and we can help you out. The Dakota County Star can turn your old photos into digital images that you can use for everything from posters to scrapbooks. Bring your old prints in and we'll scan them and turn them into high-quality JPEG images that you can use however you see fit. And if you see some great photos in the paper, go to our photo website at mikeycproductions.smugmug.com and you can order prints, digital images, or get your favorite print on a coffee mug. Plenty of options to choose from, and you'll see more than just what was printed in the paper. We offer award-winning photography options that you will enjoy. Whatever your photo needs, stop by the Dakota County Star or look us up on the web at www.datcostar.com.
I guess love is like the ozone layer. You'll never miss it until it's gone.
And we're back here on the Dakota County Star podcast, and thanks again to Emily Vondrak from Siouxland Freedom Park, talking with us today about what's going on with the park and all the activities that have been going on here lately. It's been a very, very busy couple of months out there at the park with the new plane coming in, and with the opening of the new recording studio and some other things that are going to be coming up here in the coming weeks and months out at Freedom Park. So great to see that going on. And again, if you haven't had a chance to visit Siouxland Freedom Park here in South Sioux City, do so, because it's definitely an event, a place to be, a place to check out, and especially if you have an interest in our nation's history in the armed forces. So great facility out there. Speaking of the Freedom Park, it kind of is featured in the this week's edition of the Dakota County Star with Veterans Day going on Tuesday. There was a nice program out there in front of the Vietnam Memorial that included the South Sioux City Middle School Honor Choir singing a couple of songs there Tuesday. And then, of course, Mike Newhouse, the outgoing president of the park board, presenting the program out there as well. Also, Freedom Park Recording Studio, that was the ribbon cutting on that was held on Tuesday, and that's on the front page as well. And then, of course, a feature story on Mike Newhouse, who stepped down on Tuesday as president of the park board. Some other news going on in the community, including city council and county board meetings, short meetings on both of those there. A bug bomb was the cause of an explosion at a local residence last week. And then the law enforcement here in the community involved in an arrest Monday that included a car basically being driven across across the state line, and a lot of chaos involved in that. But of course, our local law enforcement getting the job done there. So, a story on that. This week's opinion page, including columns from State Senator Glenn Meyer on human trafficking in Nebraska, and from Pete Ricketts on the ongoing shutdown of the federal government, which ended earlier this week, of course. And then my column talking about the most wonderful time of the year. And, of course, as it is a lot of the times with my column, there's an air of sarcasm in what I have to say. And my column talking about Black Friday, which will be coming up here in a couple of weeks. Also, the Great Turkey Giveaway going on right now here in South Sioux City. And there's a big ad on the back of the front section telling you where you can register to win $20 gift certificate toward the purchase of a turkey. We're working with Siouxland Bank on that promotion. So you have until Sunday to get signed up. We'll be drawing names. All the area businesses will draw names on Monday, and we will have those names published in next week's edition of the Dakota County Star. B section this week, spotlight on area community events featuring the middle school's Veterans Day program that was held during coffee hour last Friday at South Sioux City Middle School. Also, some information on what's going on at the library. Some tips on cleaning out the fridge from the Extension office. Also, a local teacher was honored, Dawn Oswald, honored for 25 years as a volleyball official. She was honored during the state volleyball tournament here recently. We also have news from Homer and also Jackson and Emerson this week. And then, of course, the most important news in any newspaper, the legal notices, the news you need to know where and how your tax dollars are being spent here in locally and here in the county. And then, I guess, to close things down, a story on the AARP of giving out resources during National Caregivers Month for those of you who are of age to take advantage of the AARP's resources. And that's it in a nutshell. This week's edition of the Dakota County Star, available on newsstands right now. You can pick them up wherever the newspaper may be sold here in Dakota County. There's actually a ad on the back page about where you can pick up a copy of the newspaper, and we'll just list them off for you here, because since we got it right here in front of us. Here in South Sioux City, you can get it at Hy-Vee, at our office at the Dakota County Star, also at Wilma's Hardware, Dakota Perk, and Crystal Cafe. You can also get your copy of the newspaper at Dakota Food and Fuel in Dakota City, at the Pump and Pantry in Jackson, at J&J's Pronto in Homer, and also at Good Roots Coffee Company in Homer, and in Emerson at Post 60 Market and Pony Express. That's going to do it for this week's edition of the Dakota County Star podcast here on DakCoStar.com. Again, thanks to Emily Vondrak from Siouxland Freedom Park for talking with us here on this week's edition. We will have a pre-Thanksgiving edition coming up next week here on the Dakota County Star podcast, so tune in and check it out, and tell a friend about the Dakota County Star podcast, and we'll see you next week with another edition right here on DakCoStar.com. Till then, this is Mike Carnes saying we'll see you later.